Hi, you're watching Julie Hoffman. I'm the Street Smart Diva and I want to welcome you here today. You're here to learn about my upcoming online real estate investment course called the Street Smart Buyer. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. So you are here because you got an email from me or maybe from somebody that knows me. You might have found me on Facebook or Twitter. So either way, I want to welcome you here today because it means you're taking that next step toward your real estate investment and venture. Now, the two biggest objections that I hear from people when I talk to them about real estate investment are one, I don't have any money or I don't have enough money. And number two, I don't know what I'm doing. So what I'm here to share with you today are tools that you can actually go out and use that won't cost you any money because I'm going to give them to you for free. And you are going to know what you're doing if you use them properly. So let's get started. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I've been investing in real estate since 2001. I've transacted over 300 deals and over $80 million in real estate. Now, during the recession, we were hit pretty hard. We went from having millions of dollars worth of real estate and millions of dollars worth of net worth to multiple foreclosures and bankruptcy. That sounds pretty terrible, doesn't it? Well, believe it or not, it was actually a gift because through that experience, I was able to learn really innovative ways to stay alive as a company. So I don't regret anything that had happened. In fact, Mark Twain, he's got this wonderful quote. It says, the two most important days of your life are the day that you're born and the day that you discover why. And so I realized fairly recently why I had to go through all of the challenges that I did. And it's so that I can help you play the game of real estate investment and win. So I'm really, really excited to be here. And again, I'm excited to share with you my course, The Street Smart Buyer. Now, I want to share with you a little bit more about the story behind the story. I grew up like a lot of people. I listened to my parents. I went to school. I got good grades. I went to university and got a great education. In fact, I have 2 university degrees, a Bachelor of Exercise Science and a doctorate in physical therapy. So I went to university for forever. So real estate really was not on my radar. But I went on and got married, and pretty soon my husband and I were expecting our first child. And one night, I was about 5 months pregnant, he was driving home and he phoned me and he said, Julie, I've got a great idea. And what had happened is he had just attended a real estate investment seminar. And what he took home from that seminar, the big thing was that 95% of all millionaires have done so through real estate. So he just could not wait to get started. And I just thought to myself, okay, sure, yeah, sounds good. Let's do this. Now, what ended up happening is I ended up doing most of the work because I had a job that allowed me to do that. So I would make phone calls on my lunch break. I would go and see properties in the evenings and on weekends. I made literally hundreds of phone calls, and I looked at, I know I've looked at hundreds of properties. So I just want to stop right here because this is what I want you to take home from this video today. It won't cost you any money, and again, by the end of using these tools, you are going to know what you're doing. So the first thing is, just start looking at properties. It's absolutely free, and it's never been easier to look at properties. You have to keep in mind, when I started looking at properties 14 years ago, I had to buy a newspaper and I'd bring it home and I'd make all the red circles, and I'd have to make phone calls and get the information about the properties. Then if it was a property, if I actually got a hold of them and it was a property that I actually wanted to see, I'd have to drive an hour to go see the property. So, it was really challenging actually for me to look at properties. Again, it is so easy now. You can literally look at 100 properties a day because of the internet. So just start doing that. Start looking at properties and getting familiar with properties. And I recommend that you find maybe a specific area or a specific type of property that you want to be an expert at. Now, I want to emphasize for you why this became pretty easy for me. Most developers, that's people that build lots and lots of houses at one time, they usually just follow 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different floor plans. So this is for houses built, in the 40s, 50s, all the way through to today. So what you'll find is if you kind of focus in on a specific area, you're really going to get to know the types of properties. Like a 4-level split is a 4-level split. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. I live in a 4-level split right now. I used to live in a smaller 4-level split, and so I know the layout of them. But before I started looking at properties, I didn't really know what to look for. But a bungalow is a bungalow, and something with a walkout basement is a walkout basement. Even modular homes have certain consistent features about them. So become an expert at a certain type of property. Now, 14 years ago, I was kind of sloppy with the way I did things too. I just write down all the information about the properties, usually on a piece of paper in chicken scratch. And 9 times out of 10, I end up misplacing the paper. So what I have provided for you, and this is something that my husband and I have created over time, it's called the Motivated Seller Worksheet. Now, I call it Motivated Seller because those are the kinds of sellers that you want to look for when you're a Street Smart buyer, and we'll get more into that in the next video, as well as in the Street Smart Buyer course. But regardless, you're going to get the you're going to get the Motivated Seller video, and it's going to take you line by line the exact details that you need to know about any property that you're going to buy. Okay, so we designed this to help you stay organized, to know exactly what you need to know when it comes to a property, like square footage and how many bedrooms and size of the lot. If it's a condo, you want to know the condo fees. You want to know what's included in that. All these little details are in the Motivated Seller Worksheet. So that's a free gift to you. Now, if you use this property over and over again, and you just look up, I don't know, maybe 10 properties a day, and get used to looking at the details of the advertisement, whether it's on Kijiji or it's a realtor advertisement, take all that information, put it in the Motivated Seller Worksheet, and folks, if you do this 10 times a day, before you know it, you are going to be an expert at property, right? So this isn't going to cost you any money, and you are going to know what you're doing when it comes to property, and what that's going to give you is confidence, all right? And you can't put a price tag on confidence. It will take you leaps and bounds from not knowing anything to feeling like you really do know what you're doing when you're looking for a property. Now, the other thing that you want to do is you want to research market rents. It's very easy to do this. Just Google for rent and enter the name of your town or your city, even your neighborhood. You should be able to find places for rent that are just like the properties that you're looking for. Find this information, get used to finding this information, and what I'm going to be giving you in my next video, video 2, is a wonderful tool. My husband and I also created this along with some other genius mastermind people. Just totally helped us put together this wonderful Street Smart Analyzer. So once you get the Street Smart Analyzer and you've been used to looking at properties and understanding what you need to look for, you're going to know what you're doing, and it's not going to cost you a dime. Of course, I do want to, encourage you to take my Street Smart Buyer online real estate investment training course, because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Everything's going to be recorded for you, and you're going to have a lot of access to me, which you can't, usually get with, group trainings kind of situations. So stay tuned for the next video, and that'll be coming to you in a couple days. But in order to get the Motivated Seller Worksheet, what you have to do is you have to enter your information in the box below. Make sure you have your name, your email, and I want to know how you came here. So if you found me on Facebook, just say Facebook. If you found me through a guy named Bob's Facebook, tell me that, because I want to properly thank anybody that brings me business. If you got this from an email, please say from Rose or say from Paul. These are people that are supporting me, and again, I want to thank them properly. I want to thank anybody that refers me business properly. So you've got to enter that information, and you will get the Motivated Seller Worksheet on your email box, as well as a tutorial on how to use it. And then in a couple of days, you're also going to get a notification of video 2, and and I can't wait to share with you the Street Smart Analyzer. So I want to give you lots and lots of tools that can help you get started without having it cost you anything. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, and one more thing. If you could leave a comment on the Facebook comments, just tell me how this video was for you. When you get the worksheet and you start looking at properties online, tell me how it's working for you. I totally welcome feedback. I can't wait to hear from you, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. So if you want more information about me, you can go back to www.streetsmartdiva.com, and we'll see you next time.